in my mind from X-Files, you know, is Jeremiah was a bullfrog. I'm not going to sing it.
Thank you so much.
Joy to the world. Is that one of the lines of the song?
You sounded very joyous.
Sorry?
Do you remember?
I will remember.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You talked about loving rock and roll and being a bit of a rebel. Is it true that in high school you were voted most likely to be arrested?
I was, and I wasn't arrested.
You were arrested? For what?
On graduation night.
Walking the school logs.
On graduation day.
Okay. Well, it was my idea. We were going to do the locks of the high school together outside so that come Monday nobody could get in. But then I realized that, you know, how? So we went out and bought a bunch of locks and a bunch of chains, and then we were going to, you know, lock and chain the doors so nobody could get in. But lo and behold, they had a security guard posted outside the door. And so, you know, suddenly these big bright lights went on, and so we all started running. Now, at the time, I was a punk rocker, and my boyfriend was an older punk rocker. And I had these pointy black boots on with buckles up the side. And but they've got no heel, they're like flat to the ground. And I'm running and running, this guy's chasing me, because, you know, the weak one. And I step on a nail. And I'm running and I'm trying to pull out the nail, and I eventually pull it out and I keep running, but eventually I can't run anymore, and he catches up with me. And I'm sitting down and he's calling the police, and he takes me back to my beat up rabbit. And I think we'd been swimming that day, but my foot was bleeding and everything, and as we're waiting for the police to get there, I reach for the towel that's in the back, but it's got chlorine all over it, which didn't feel very good on the open wound, but also knocked over the open bottle of wine that was in the car, and we were obviously, I was getting myself more into trouble, so then what I did is I locked the door so the police wouldn't find the open bottle of wine, but I locked my driver's license in there so that when I was taken to the police station, and it kind of went like that.
Happy graduation.
They were right.
Hello?
Okay. I read in your Elle magazine article on books that have shaped you that you often get lost or captivated in stories, and I wondered what your feelings are on this in regards to acting. Do you feel that at a certain point technique fades away and it becomes more about you finding a way to live in a character, or finding a way to have that character somehow live in you and be able to get lost in that?
I'm not sure if I've ever thought about it that intellectually, or broken it down quite in that way. I never know when I'm going into something. That's not true. When I very first read a script, I'll either get the character or not, and that will determine whether I decide to do it. There's no real convincing me of it after that. If it's not something that's something inside of me, there's some form of recognition, or I hear the voice in my head while I'm reading it, that there's no pushing it. So I guess from that moment that I read it and hear that voice, then after I choose to do it, everything after that is about discovering where that voice lives inside me, and animating it, you know, putting it into something that can be physically seen by other people. And so it's possible that answers one of those questions in terms of how I, does it? Does it matter?
Are you an actor though who, you hear about actors who really stay in the role even in between takes and who really live in it in that deep way?
It depends what it is. If it's something that's really hard, yeah, I have a tendency. I usually find a room in wherever we're to go and kind of be separate and stay there in that place. If it's a character that's kind of an aspect of myself, and it feels kind of effortless, then it's much easier for me to just kind of hang out and chat in between takes and that kind of stuff.
Hi. My name's Bree. I just had a comment and a question. I initially saw you for the first time in House of Mirth, and House of Mirth is one of my favorite books. So I was like searching around to see if there was a movie, and I saw it, and I was really scared because you never want to see a movie of your favorite book in case they screw it up. And your portrayal of Lily was flawless. It was fantastic. I absolutely loved it. To this day, it's still one of my favorite movies. My question was that in the American Primetime, when they did the X-Files thing, you said that Scully was made to walk a few paces behind Mulder. When did you realize that you were reaching the door at the same time, and was there like a discussion of when you could walk together, or was it just natural?
I think it was a mixture of natural progression and me at some point going, what the fuck is going on here?
Oh, God.
Yep.
Thank you.
I'm sorry.
I'm actually here for my sister who couldn't be here today, and she absolutely loves you to death.
Hi, sister.
Her name's Allison, by the way. She sadly had to fly back home to Disney World yesterday because she works there.
Oh.
So she can't be here today, so she gave me a question to ask you. I'm a big fan too, not by choice. She kind of made me watch X-Files growing up. So yeah, now I know all about the show and about you, and you're fantastic. So basically, the question she had for you is, somewhere she learned that you were writing a script, either for a movie or a play, and she just wanted to know if that was still in the works or if you've abandoned that idea.
Oh, yes. About a decade ago, I optioned a book that I fell in love with in order to adapt it into a screenplay and eventually direct it. And I finished the script, and then I left my computer somewhere and had somebody FedEx it to me, but it never reached me, and I didn't have another copy. So I started from scratch, and I wrote it again. And then the difficult thing about the story is it is three people's stories in voiceover and flashback, and I have thought that I have almost completed it a couple of times, but haven't gotten close enough when I eventually show it to somebody. But I just recently started working with somebody who is kind of guiding me towards where it can best live, and you know, teaching me techniques, screenwriting. I didn't write a book on screenwriting or anything, and I don't know the rules and regulations around it. And so she's challenging me to work all that stuff out using this script, and you know, bringing it into a different time frame and all that kind of stuff. But it's as much a lengthy process as the process that I was putting myself through. But I haven't given up. I still continue to option it. I feel like I'm getting somewhere in a real way right now, and I know exactly how I want to shoot it. It's just about getting it on the page, and yeah, it's just taking me a long time.
So it will be potentially a movie, maybe?
I'm gonna say yes.
Okay. Well, we look forward to it if it ever does come out. Thank you.
Allison will be happy. You don't have a question, you just wanted to take out.
Oh my God.
Hi, my name is Richard, and I'm a big fan. And I remember that you announced at the Johnny English 2 premiere that there's talks about X-Files 3, with the colonization and everything, and that's the biggest thing because it's like 4 months away and all. So it might be possible that even after the data colonization in the show is supposed to happen, that the show might actually make a third film.
I met with Chris when I was just in Los Angeles, and we had this very conversation. And I think it's looking pretty good. You know, but then there's convincing Fox.
Boo!
So,
Fox the network, not Fox Mulder.
Yes.
yeah. But it's, you know, from our end of things, it's looking pretty good.
Okay,
Great news.
Coaches out there, I want to leave, and we all want to believe. Thank you.
I can clap. You're
Not sure I can follow that. You always seem to have such insightful and pertinent advice, especially for young women. And I was just wondering if you ever thought about maybe writing a book.
Yeah.
No?
But about what? I don't remember anything!
It's true, you send a photo for me and you're like, that's good advice. It's your advice.
Oh, right, yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hi, my mom